Welcome to The Vibrant Couple. I have invited my friend Monique this morning to talk about our relationship tools series. So Monique, welcome. We are going to talk about apologies today. We are going to share why. We are going to look at steps to apologize. We are going to have our funny role plays and of course, our typical Q&A.
Yeah, apologies are important because we all make mistakes. And good apologies are wonderful because they help us heal from the hurt. And bad apologies hurt. Good apologies also help us see our partner's point of view through better listening, through reducing defensiveness and helping us grow. And good apologies really increase satisfaction in your couplehood.
We are going to offer the instructions for this tool a little bit different than usual. The instructions have two parts. The instructions properly will come later, and they are based on 7 gifts. Many of you likely know the 5 languages of love, and so very similarly, there are 7 languages or gifts of an apology. Some people will need 1, some people will need 3, some people will need all, some people will not even know about some of the tool of these gifts. We will talk more about that in the Q&A, but right now, here are those 7 gifts. 6 of those are from the offending partner, basically the one that needs to be say sorry, where you impress regret and impact, you take responsibility, you signify your intent to change so things don't repeat, you request forgiveness, you offer repair, and then for the offended partner, really importantly, the gift of accepting and acknowledging an apology. Monique, please tell us more about how you properly apologize.
Yeah, most of us have been told, say sorry. That's just sort of checking it off of your list. But an apology, a good apology, is about them. It's about the relationship, your impact on another person. So, in this way, the steps and the gifts are parallel. Before you even think about apologizing, make sure that you feel regret. Step 1 is saying, I'm sorry. And then, depending on the situation, your partner, you could use any of the gifts to any depth or not at all. Do they need to hear about the impact, you taking responsibility, what you're going to change? You'll know that you've done a good job if when you get to the place where you're asking for them to accept your apology, if they say no, you probably need to explore a gift a little bit more deeply. And then, of course, at the end of a great apology is some appreciation in both of yours investment in the relationship and each other. One of the things that makes apology so difficult is that we're both dysregulated. We're both upset. So, Valdo, let's talk about co-regulation.
I'm so glad you asked because I believe that's one of the key hallmarks of a good couple, the ability to basically downregulate each other when we are upset. And so one of the ways to do that is to create a culture of co-regulation. For example, one of the things I teach the couples I work with is to hug until relaxed on a regular basis so that they know they can find safe harbor in each other. You can also do that during the apology with touch. And so you may, if your partner is super, upset, for example, let's pretend they are very jealous with you. You cannot say, hey, darling, come for a hug. They're most likely going to blow you off. But you may start with a gentle smile and then a gentle touch, and then you hold their hands, and then you hold their forearm and the arm, and then you offer a hug. And one of the ways you can do that during the apology steps is to insist on step number 3. And so step number 3 is not very different from the step number 2, but basically this is emphasizing that these are gifts. So if your partner is, for example, intent on repair, then you reinforce, you repeat the repair that you're going to do as a way of calming them down. And now, our role plays. So just to clarify, Monique and I are not a couple in real life. So 5 role plays. The first one is the reflective I'm sorry. I'm going to be walking in my house in the morning and Monique steps on my toe. Ow, you step on my toe.
Oh, sorry.
This reflexive sorry has none of the 7 gifts and feels very shallow. So we're going to do a second role play, same players, same place, same toe, but we're going to find ways to bring a little bit more emotional intelligence. So I am walking and Monique steps on my toe. Ow, you step on my toe.
Hey, Valdo, I noticed that you got quiet after I stepped on your toe, and I'm just making up that you get really frustrated by me rushing around the night before and not being prepared, rushing around the morning of and not being prepared, and I just want to acknowledge that that's when I step on your toe.
And so you're right, Monique. You've been a bulldozer all morning, like you often are on Sunday mornings when you don't prep the night before.
Yeah, and I know we could get through this playfully, and I also want to be sincere and actually talk about what I'm going to do differently because you've been extending a lot of grace, and I'm willing now to commit to setting out my clothes the night before, and planning my meal ahead of time, and stop being a bulldozer and really show you that I'm committed to you and I having a more easeful morning. Does that feel genuine to you?
So it does, and it feels that these are your languages of apology. A gift to me would be to hear the impact your stepping on my toes has on me. Would you be willing
Yeah.
to work on that gift with me?
Yeah, thank you for pointing me to that gift. I make up that because, like literally and figuratively, I'm stepping on your toes in the morning as we're rushing around, that you're truly kind of walking on eggshells. You're trying to stay out of my way. You can't easily flow through your morning. Is that kind of what's going on for you?
So that is it. And also, Sundays are our relaxed days together. I want to be with you with no agenda, just being together. And when I have to somehow be on eggshells, it's painful.
So part of what's going on here is I just need to slow down and just remember this isn't a weekday. This is a time for me to get out of that rush mode. Thanks for pointing me to that gift. That's yeah, I want to really honor what's going on for you. And that helps me stick to my agreements of making sure I just stop doing that.
This is very interesting. Monique spoke with her languages for an apology. Valdo made a request in a different language. Monique honored his request. And you may remember step 3 when you offer the gift that is the most soothing. She went back to her languages instead of reaffirming the impact. And so this is very normal. This is Valdo and Monique learning to use the 7 gifts. And I'm pretty sure that after they keep practicing and practicing, they are going to be more adept at offering the gift that really soothes the other. Because an apology is about the other, it's about your couple, it is not about you. We are going to do 3 more role plays with that same scenario, but we are going to have Valdo, the offended partner, be more reactive from the start. And we are going to highlight more each of the different ways that Monique can react. So the first one is Monique will be the doormat. Monique, why do you keep fucking stepping on my toe?
Oh, I'm so sorry, Valdo. I'm so sorry. So in that one, I became this doormat and I got really small. And what happens is then I'm turning the attention to me. I'm focused on me, feeling sorry for me, inviting Valdo to feel sorry for me. And so I'm not giving him any gifts in my apology. I'm making it small. I'm making myself small.
Remember, one of the keys to an apology is a gift to the other. And in that case, Monique offers nothing to me. So in our fourth scenario, Monique is going to be the porcupine. You can imagine the porcupine with all its whatever spikes. She's going to be reactive on my reactivity. Monique, why do you keep fucking stepping on my toe?
Well, what the hell, Valdo? I mean, your stuff's everywhere. What am I supposed to do? Listeners, notice again, I have a reflexive apology. I've gone the opposite extreme. I'm doing the porcupine. I make it about me. I'm protecting myself. I'm defensive. I am really not exploring impact at all.
The answer to learning to calm reactivity down is emotional intelligence. So we are going to have a third role play, same toes, same Monique stepping on it, same Valdo really upset about it, but Monique will find ways using the seven gifts to calm me down. Monique, why do you effing keep stepping on my toes every Sunday mornings?
Okay, just give me a second. I need to take a breath. I don't like this pattern either. Matter of fact, I just want to touch you on the arm right now and say I'm sorry. I know I'm bringing a lot of energy into our Sunday mornings, and I do want to slow down and enjoy our time together. And yeah, let's explore this for a minute. What if I set my clothes out the night before and decided what I was going to make us for breakfast the night before? Would that be helpful?
And yes, it would because, I feel my system is calming. So you're apologizing, you're taking a deep breath, apologizing, and you're signifying intent and touching my arm make a big difference. What would help here is if you could acknowledge the impact this has on me. This is the need I have is to hear you see the world from my point of view.
Yeah, and so what I'm hearing is like I've stepped on your toe multiple Sunday mornings, and probably literally and figuratively, I'm stepping on your toes in many places. And so I'm making up that you just need me to slow down and be present for you, for our relationship. Is that right?
Yes, and I've lovingly giving you the surname of the or the nickname of the bulldozer, and this is with all my love. But I would love for you to understand what it is for me to be with you when you're in that bulldozer mode.
Yeah, yeah. And so what I think I'm hearing is that you then have to be kind of on eggshells because I'm just this force that goes through the room. And as I could imagine, it's like you don't even feel seen. Is that right?
The eggshell is more what it is. And when you said that, I noticed I was relaxing. So this is really helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see if I can change what I'm doing so you're on eggshells way less often. And I sure appreciate your patience with me, your playfulness with me, and both of our investment in the relationship. Do you accept my apology?
And so it's really interesting before I accept your apology. And so the answer is yes, I'm accepting your apology. And what I'm noticing is that when you go back to your language, which is what you're going to do differently, my stress level went back up. When you acknowledge
Mm-hmm.
the impact, my stress level went down. And so the answer is yes, I accept your apology and I have a request. My request, are you okay with me asking for something?
Yes, absolutely.
My request is for you to acknowledge in real time your bulldozerness and my walking on eggshells before you step on my toe. Like, ouch, Valdo, I'm noticing I'm in bulldozer mode. I know your toe is going to be stepped on. I really want to change that pattern. Let's take a few deep breaths
Hmm.
and let's avert that bad situation.
Yeah, yeah. So just as I slow down, I'm noticing that what might also help is just giving you a hug and just slowing down, getting you off those eggshells and just being right here, right now, and not keep jumping to the future, what I'll do differently, but just truly be here. So thank you for redirecting me back to
Yeah.
that gift.
Yeah, and what I'm noticing is not only do I accept your apology more deeply, but also I am way more inclined to forgive you when
Wonderful.
you acknowledge the impact. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Listeners, you saw how Monique and I navigated the 5 steps of the apology and the 7 gifts very intentionally, in which we did not say gift 1, gift 2, gift 3. We went on to which gifts are meaningful to each other so we can find ways to really meet each other's needs. And so Monique here was really good at acknowledging my need for impact. And I think I did an okay job, but I could do better with acknowledging her need for repair, intent to change.
And now for our Q&A. This viewer asks, what if my partner says I'm sorry all the time?
In our culture, we've been conditioned to apologize and over apologize. And you may remember seeing kids on the playground say, you have to tell him you're sorry, you have to tell you you're sorry, and say sorry with not even meaning it. So for many of us, it's reflexive. And for many of us, we somehow take upon ourselves. Most women somehow, accept the doormat we had earlier, and many men or too many men somehow go into their nice guy. So this is where the gift of accepting an apology comes in. You can refuse an apology, say, hey, darling, I'm not accepting this apology.
I remember when I was a reflexive apologizer. And Valdo, isn't that a great place where take two would be helpful?
Definitely. So, listeners, take 2 is a video we made, Monique and I, some time ago, in which when you are not happy with the way you did something, you offer your partner a redo, a take 2, and sometimes you do more. But basically, it is an excellent way to change that habit when you catch yourself with saying an empty sorry. Sometimes I think that my partner's sorries are manipulative. Is that possible?
Yes, actually it is. So a manipulative sorry is when somebody consciously or subconsciously is trying to make it about them. So just ask them, what specifically are you apologizing for? Because what you might be sensing is that they're trying to actually change your behavior, make them feel better, or that they want to show you they're taking the high road.
I find this question very amusing after our role plays. I just stepped on my partner's toes and they overreacted. Why is that?
Yes. So it's wonderful for someone to own and take responsibility for their actions, but in this case it's pointing to the dance two people do. So if your partner is really reactive or defensive to what you're doing, it's probably because they're contributing to it. So it might be a great time for you to co-regulate, sit down and say, "Let's unpack the whole dance and stop stepping on each other's toes."
Unless we pay attention, we tend to project our issues on others. Monique and I did a video recently on your projections. I recommend you watch if that is a concern of yours.
Yes, and for a quick check right now, anytime anybody's pointing a finger at someone else, what are the 3 fingers pointing back at them? This viewer asks, what if my partner is always asking me to apologize or even demanding that I apologize?
That is a really good question because some people, more than others, have a sense of righteousness. And so, an apology, a good apology, is about the other. And the step of 6 gift is of repair is what can I do to repair things to you? If that is demanded, this is more about them, this is more about justice than reconciliation.
So as I'm listening to your answer, Valdo, I think the what's important is to figure out, is the intention about like punishment or reconciliation? Are they really asking for you to hear the impact and to do something differently, or are they just really wanting to kind of get revenge and make you feel small?
I'm glad you're saying that because the reason I'm labeling the gifts as gifts is you cannot give a gift if you're in a punishing mode. Next question is, I assume, asked by a woman in a heterosexual couple. The question is, my husband and I have decided to reconcile after my affair. Can I trust this?
Yeah, so the question here is, can both of you let go of the resentment that led to the affair? And can both of you stay focused on that you're choosing each other instead of staying focused on the past event? So the question is, can you both realize how much time it takes to rebuild the safety when a really core promise has been violated in relationship? It takes time to rebuild the trust. So yes, you can understand that there's a genuine apology here and that you're not condoning the affair, and you both want to reorient to each other and to the time it's going to take to rebuild. This viewer asks, well, my husband keeps apologizing for not contributing to the chores, but he doesn't understand that this is actually about a relationship and how he shows up in it. What should I do?
You know, this is something I hear many women talk about, and basically, this is about content versus context. Because I'm pretty sure that in this case, this is not about the dishes or setting the table or taking the garbage out. This is in the content of, oh, he's not paying attention to our relationship, how he's not really caring about me. So, one of the key here is to create a we that is the relationship because it's much easier for men to understand. Of course, I want to build my relationship.
So, Valdo, you're saying separate the little details from the bigger picture.
Yes, the better way of saying it is there is chores and there is chore management. And so men understand chores, but they do not understand chore management, which most women feel like a huge burden in which they don't feel in partnership with their partner. So understanding chore management is the key, is the context. And the content is you didn't do the dishes that day at that time.
This viewer asks, my wife only accepts my apology after a few days of the silent treatment. Is that okay?
Ouch. And I want to start by saying that this is a sign that this is a poor marriage. And really importantly, I want to make sure that you do not hear a judgment that this will be a poor marriage. So, most marriages learn on the fly. Most marriages learn through arguments, learn through what you should not be doing as a way of learning what to do. And so I highly recommend that the two of you watch our emotional intelligence series so that you can learn about feelings and needs and how to listen to each other and how to basically meet each other's needs in a way that works for both of you because silent treatment is not it. What if my partner does not accept my apology?
Yeah, so it's important to remember that you're not apologizing for you, you're apologizing for them. So check and make sure it's genuine, go through all the gifts, make sure you're giving them the ones they want or need, and maybe they need more time. But just keep hanging in there and keep showing up.
So, what I'm hearing is in addition to the seven gifts, there is also a gift of time so that your partner knows that they have their own process and their own process is honored.
And usually that time allows them to figure out which gift they need more of, because sometimes they don't even know yet. And they'll keep coming back to a piece, and you'll sort it out.
I have so enjoyed spending this time with you. I want to give you a game to play with your partner if one or both of you tend to over apologize. So the game is no apologies, and find a funny way of keeping track of that. You know how on some job site there is a sign saying, 232 days before, since our last injury, or on roadways, 12 days and since the last fatal injury. So find something playful to do that, or give yourself playful consequences, like one does a dance, or it could actually sting a little bit, like a consequence like the next one who apologizes does the dishes. I just realized I said 232 days. This is a game to just play for a week or two. It is actually a really good way of starting fresh, paying attention to your habitual patterns, and then learning to use those 7 gifts and 5 steps. Trust you know what to do if you want more juicy content from Monique and I. And also, please pass along to all you believe would benefit, even if that feels a little uncomfortable. I look forward to seeing you very soon.